Hello, my name is Hakon and welcome back to my channel and what some of you might think is a really long overdue video about typewriters. It is at the moment, I believe, almost 14 months since my last typewriter video was uploaded to YouTube and published, and I do want to make more content about typewriters, and it was about time that I started making some more. So today I'm not going to show you a new typewriter. I do have 25 typewriters altogether and I want to show you all of them, but today I'm going to show you a little tip if you like typing on typewriters, but this is an issue you will encounter. So for instance, I'm going to type a little bit here. Actually, I'm going to just do a little bit like this. Okay. Okay, so, oops. Okay, so as you can see, when I type, and this is actually not a very slippery desk, the typewriter is sliding around quite a lot. So it is rotating this way when I'm typing, and then I'm doing a carriage return and it's sliding that way, and I might do like this and it's moving that way, and it is a little bit all over the place. And this is a desk which has a lot of friction, actually. It's wood with some varnish that's partly been sanded off. But the desk I had before was quite a smooth surface, smooth veneer, and it slid a lot more around. Now, there are two reasons for this. One is, of course, that the desks are often quite smooth. And secondly, if you have a typewriter, your rubber feet, which most typewriters would have, are old. And when rubber gets old, that stickiness, that softness and pliability that keeps something with rubber feet in place will have been reduced quite significantly. So that means there are two options for solving this kind of problem. And that one of them is to change the feet, and that is quite hard to do often because, well, you can't get the originals. You can probably get decent substitutes, but you can't get the originals. Or you put something underneath the typewriter that keeps it from sliding around. There is, of course, a third option, which I'm going to mention very briefly as well. If you have one typewriter in a fixed place on a typing table, it would be very easy to, for instance, add something on the table. Just screw in a few pieces of wood right here that will keep the typewriter firmly in place. Or you can also make adjustable rails as well if you have different typewriters. That would be a perfect solution. But if, like most people, you type at whatever table you have, you might like to type different places. You might like to type at the kitchen table sometimes you go to a cafe, etc. There are other options, and putting something underneath to make it less slippery is a good thing. Now, the first thing I tried when I started typing on this typewriter, this was my first one, the first thing I tried was a non-slip mat that is meant to keep underneath carpets and rugs. So it's a kind of a sort of a rubbery mesh lattice work of a mat, which works reasonably well, but it's not perfect. It still moves about a little bit, and also I don't think it's very pretty. It doesn't look very appealing to me to have that on the desk. So the solution I came up with, which I just tried one day, was to use a mouse pad. Now you might say, oh, mouse pads are way too small to put a typewriter on, but you get what's known as a gaming mouse pad. which is much bigger than your normal mouse pad, because this is meant to have room not just for a mouse, but also for a keyboard and a mouse, or even a small laptop and a mouse. And you get these in sizes up to, well, certainly the biggest I've seen is 60 by 80 centimeters. This is quite a small one in comparison. This is 40 by 50 maybe. And the thing is that, I don't know if you noticed, but the background on my desk of most of my videos over the last few years have been black, and it's been black like this. And that's because I've had a desk size mouse pad like this on my desk, which makes it comfortable to use my computer mouse. And whenever I brought out a typewriter for typing, it was also very comfortable to use. So I'm going to put that underneath here now so we can compare. So this is actually getting a little bit old as well. This particular one, this is the first one I got, but it still has quite a lot of good grip left in it. So if I put my typewriter here now and I'm trying to move it around a little bit, and it's already resisting that rotational movement that keeps it moving about. So let's try now. Okay. And it is a lot better. Now you see, I didn't look at my video screen there for a moment, and it looks like my machine basically ended up in the same position that it was in when I started typing. Unlike earlier when it was ending up really askew like this. So it makes a huge difference. I also find this background quite pleasing, and it takes any distraction away from what you're doing. You focus entirely on your machine and your typing. And also, because that's the thing, isn't it? When your machine starts sliding around, you start having to stop a little bit and adjust. It's sort of moving over here, and you sort of, I have to move it back here to the comfortable typing position. So it takes one little thing out of the equation, and it makes the typing experience that much more enjoyable. And it is meant to be enjoyable, because if it isn't enjoyable to type on the typewriter, well, you may as well use a computer. So there must be something, there are reasons why typing on a typewriter is better than a computer, but if it's more of a hassle than it is an enjoyment, then why do it? So that is what I wanted to show you today. Little tip for you: if your typewriter is sliding around and you don't want to change the rubber feet just yet, look into getting a medium-sized mouse pad, gaming mouse pad like this, and it will actually make your life a lot better. Now, this rubberized material will also, and also the cloth on top, will also dampen sounds a little bit as well. So if you have a desk like my old desk, which was hollow, and you put this on top, the noise from the vibrations of the typewriter will not be amplified as much as it will when it's straight on the desk either. So there's a double effect as well. Now, there are people who make typewriting mats, I mean official typewriting mats out of thick felt and things like that. And in the old days, while that was still legal, they would have made those out of asbestos. So of course, if you find a vintage typewriting mat, make sure it's not made out of asbestos, because, well, that's quite a harmful substance, and you do not want to be handling it or needing to dispose of it. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Mousepad. The modern era has given us something that is really suitable for the old era. How brilliant is that? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. And And I will be back with more typewriter content and other things as we go along. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.